physically transform your brain with ayahuasca. In 2015, Jose Carlos Bauzo wanted to see what ayahuasca did to different parts of the brain, specifically the cingulate cortex. The cingulate cortex is a large piece of your subcortical brain, lodged right in the middle, and it's responsible for things like decision-making and regulating behavior. And if you don't know what ayahuasca is, it's essentially an indigenous practice in which one can orally ingest psychedelics like DMT, harmine, and harmaline in one giant brew. And this brew is intense. We're talking vomiting, defecating, crying, and having the psychedelic trip of a lifetime. Normally, when you do a study like this, you want to make sure the participants have experience with psychedelics. So one of the requirements could be like, have you had a psychedelic trip at least once in your lifetime? That's expected, but this study was different. The requisite for this study was a person needing to have done ayahuasca at least 50 times in the span of only 2 years. That's the equivalent of having an ayahuasca trip every other week for 2 years straight. And believe it or not, he found 22 participants that fit this criteria. And you called yourself a psychonaut. Psh. They were all members of the Santo Daime Church, a place where taking ayahuasca weekly is sort of the norm. And it's legal in places like Amsterdam. After scanning the brains of all these people, he found that with all these long-term ayahuasca users, their cingulate cortex was physically transformed. The anterior cingulate cortex, which is the front, got thicker, while the posterior cingulate cortex, the back, got thinner. It sounds scary, but it really wasn't scary at all. Despite these clear structural differences, researchers didn't find any decrease in neurophysiological performance. They were all just healthy people. In fact, ayahuasca helped each person overcome maladaptive behaviors like addiction and anxiety. Also, psychedelic science doesn't really have an explanation as to why this happens, which is the reason why a study like this needs to be replicated. But still, a wildly interesting and intriguing study.